Well, it came to me through the producers, which is David Leitch, Kelly McCormick, and Guy Danella, who sent me the script, basically saying it was Die Hard with Santa Claus. So I read it, thought it was a lot of fun, and yes, it was part of that Die Hard. Certainly, it was big, like, hugely inspired by Die Hard, but it had a lot more in it. I thought it had humor, of course, action, all those things you expect, but it had a big amount of heart too. And that's what I love about it, the combination of those things, and the fact that it still was a Christmas movie. So yeah, I came on board and we started doing some work on it, of course, getting my stuff in there, my ideas. The writers, Pat and Josh, worked on the script while we were kind of going out to cast. And then David came on board as Santa Claus, and that kind of set us off. They generally love action movies, and they have such a burning desire to make great action movies. They just, like, as you've seen in the movies that they made before this, and started with Wick, of course, but going into Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, like, they take action super seriously, and they wanted every movie to feel special and unique and really deliver on the action part, which is, of course, important. And one of the things, of course, that they're known for as well is to really train their actors, to really get the actors in there with the stunt team, rehearse the fights over and over and over, and really get that in the actor's system, so on the day they can do a lot of that stuff themselves. But yeah, I would say those things, and especially the love for an action movie, shines through. Yeah, no, that was the goal. Yeah, that was for sure the goal. And to take something, of course, that people know so well and have so many, you grow up and it's a small kind of, I guess, genre, but it's an important one, and you watch them every season, and you pick your favorites, and there are even different genres within the Christmas movie, obviously. So the goal was, okay, how can we make something original, fresh, and fun, but that still feels like a Christmas movie? When you walk out of theater, I really want you to feel like filled with Christmas spirit. That was the goal. And it was a lot of fun trying to pull in from other Christmas movies, and how can we, like, for example, Die Hard is the obvious one, but you have Home Alone, you have Christmas Vacation, and then in addition we have a lot of Easter eggs from a lot of the Christmas movies. Our movie allowed for us to tribute these movies, but at the same time creating our own thing and making something that hopefully stands out, and hopefully that people will watch next Christmas and next Christmas. So when the kids are to bed, they will put on the more grown-up Christmas movie. Well, Santa, when we meet him, he's kind of down. Like, he's lost faith. He's lost faith in humanity, in himself, and in Christmas. He feels like it's all about consumerism and gifts and toys. It's not about the Christmas spirit anymore, about being good and kind. So he's really considering packing it up. Like, this might be the last Christmas, is what he says in the beginning for him. And then, of course, he goes on to deliver his presents, and he comes across this house where this family is being taken hostage by Mr. Scrooge and his gang of terrorists. And in this family is a little girl called Trudy, which he befriends and decides to help. And through her and their journey together, he kind of slowly rediscovers himself. And he finds out, again, what Christmas means, not just to him, but to everybody. And also, he finds back to his old self, who he was before Santa Claus, which I'm not going to spoil here. But that also ties into why he can take on all these terrorists and actually maybe come out on top. So, yeah, he goes on a journey. But it's, as in so many Christmas movies, it is truly about what is important for Christmas, and why is Christmas, what it means to you. And it's about being good and kind and spreading that Christmas spirit and holiday spirit. And that's the journey we go on with him. Yes, he was. It was early in the process, and the way this works, you get together with the producers in the studio, and you get these names suggested, and somebody brought up David Harbour, and we all just looked at each other and said, oh yes, of course, he's absolutely perfect. It was one of those things where nobody was disagreeing or like, what about this guy? What about that guy? No, he was it. Thank God he liked the script. We sent it to him. I Skyped with him 2 days later, and he loved it. And he had the same ideas that we had and the same approach to the character and the tone of the film. And yeah, he really created a unique and different Santa Claus, I feel like. First of all, he's just a great actor. Like, he's a great actor, and he knew the nuances we had to hit with Santa and where he's at in the beginning, where he ends up in the end. But Santa also needs to have a big physical presence, which David has. He has to be really funny and understand the kind of humor we were aiming for, which David knows. And he had to have a big heart. And because the beating heart of the movie is his relationship with Trudy and the little girl, and how they kind of help each other, and he finds his faith again through her. And David knew all those things, and he knew how important that was, and that was the first thing he mentioned to me, how important that is. And we were just in sync, and yeah, he was just like all these things I mentioned. He just has a great combination of all these things that made him perfect for it. Oh yeah, fantastic. And she was such a find, and this is her first film, and she obviously did a big casting round and looked at all these tapes. And the moment we saw her, it's like amazing, amazing. Who is she? Where is she? And by chance, she turned out she was actually Canadian where we were shooting, and she didn't live far from where we were shooting. So it was all a fantastic. Like everything was falling into place, and yeah, she understood. Like there's one thing to being a good actor, and when you're a kid, of course, it's challenging enough. But she understood the humor of the film, and she understood what tone we were trying to hit. And she actually did some ad-libbing in the movie, which is insane. Like she was throwing out lines that stayed in the film, and she really got into it, and she nailed that role.